Coming up, AOPA Live is at Portsmouth International in New Hampshire, where the 1200th Pilatus PC-12 is about to be delivered. Surprise, surprise, CBP says it just can't find a record of those pilot searches.
It'll really inspire a lot of kids to go out and start flying.
And you can judge for yourself as Planes hits the theaters this weekend. 4,000 and counting, a bonanza of bonanzas. AOPA Live this week begins in just a moment. Golly gosh, we just can't seem to find any of those pilot stop records. Hello everyone, I'm Tom Haynes. Welcome to AOPA Live this week. And this week, we're coming to you from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and the ramp of PlaneSense. More on that in just a moment. But first, this letter we've just received from Customs and Border Patrol, and it says they just can't find any records on the two stops and searches of Gabriel Silverstein and his Cirrus last May in Iowa City.
First, CBP tells us that they won't give us anything on Mr. Silverstein because of privacy and security considerations. We appeal, they come back and say, well, gosh, we can't find any records. How can that be? How can they stop a U.S. citizen without a warrant and without any record of it ever happening?
It's very troubling. We have one of two scenarios here. We got a report through the Freedom of Information Act from the local police that says they're responding to a call from another agency and that they didn't initiate it on their own. So we've got one of two things. Either somebody's not telling the truth, or even more troubling, they don't know what's happening. And that's what we're concerned about. It's interesting that there would be no record when you're in fact calling another agency. It just makes us wonder what's going on. They also still haven't answered the question, even if they have the authority to do this. So we're going to continue to press them on that.
But maybe pilots shouldn't feel picked on. The New York Times reports this week that the TSA is sending out Viper teams to perform random warrantless searches at sporting events, music festivals, rodeos, highway way stations, and train terminals. The Times says, with perhaps a bit of understatement, not everybody is happy. But here is some happy news. Pilatus has now delivered 1,200 PC-12s, and that Milestone aircraft has just arrived here in Portsmouth to be added to the PlaneSense fleet. Here's Tom Horn with more on that.
A celebration for two companies. The 1,200th Pilatus PC-12 is delivered to the world's largest PC-12 operator.
I think the success of the PC-12 has a lot to do with its versatility. Can take off and land on very short, unimproved runways, but you still go up 30,000 feet, you cruise fast, but you can slow it down again to land on a short strip. The huge cargo door makes it very attractive for special mission operation type like air ambulance. We have cargo missions, we have airline missions.
It's the airline mission that made the PC-12 so attractive to PlaneSense, a fractional operator based in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
It's the 49th airplane that we have bought from Pilatus Aircraft. It's a very long time relationship.
Long time indeed. PlaneSense bought PC-12 number 20 18 years ago. Today, it's number 1,200 rolling into the hangar.
1,200 airplanes, not even 20 years since we started the production of this airplane. At the beginning of the program, I think nobody would have thought we would ever deliver 1,200 airplanes, and now, 18 years later, we did actually. Major milestone for us.
PlaneSense operates 30 PC-12s. They've flown some 200,000 sorties without accident, and the customers love the airplane.
It's the people who appreciate the convenience of business and private aviation and try to do it in a cost-effective manner.
Is it business mainly,
Both.
pleasure?
See, exactly. Our marketing people try to segment that all the time. We have pleasure and business. We have large fortune corporations and we have individual professionals. One of the attractions of this aircraft is its economy in short-range trips. So we do see a disproportionate amount of shorter summer-type trips than the longer ones.
Fractional ownership means you buy a piece of an airplane and the right to use a PC-12 for a certain number of hours a year. PlaneSense provides the crew, scheduling, and maintenance.
I'm wondering how much a 1/16 of a share costs.
The 16th is our entry-level size. It entitles you to 50 or 70 hours a year, depending on the profile of your use. The acquisition cost for the share, which is an undivided share in a new aircraft, is $318,000. There's a monthly management fee, which is rounded $4,700 a month. And then the hourly fee, which you only pay when you occupy the aircraft, is $738. Now, it's $738 for the first half hour, and then it's $738 for every hour after that.
Sounds expensive, but it's a lot less than owning a PC-12 outright, and you can schedule an aircraft just about any time you need it. For both PlaneSense and its customers, it's been a very good business.
I believe, and I postulate, that if you run a company well in the aviation sector, you will have equally successful results as any other company in any other walk of life. And that was one of the motivations that led me to sort of jump into the field that has now become PlaneSense.
Tom Horn, AOPA Live.
The shipment of those PC-12s helped push up some encouraging numbers, according to the General Aviation Manufacturers Association. Total aircraft shipments are up nearly 9% for the first half of the year compared to the same period last year. Single-engine turboprops like the PC-12 are up 3.8%. Multi-engine turboprops more than 70%. Jets down a little bit, but here's some promising news. Piston aircraft shipments, which have been in the doldrums, are now up 16%. And Cirrus Aircraft was quick to claim credit for leading the piston engine rebound. They delivered 130 aircraft in the first half of the year. That's about 28% of the total number of piston aircraft shipped. Now, you recall that a few months ago we told you about the delivery of the 4000th Bonanza. A Bonanza, one sort or another, has been in continuous production since 1947, longer than any other aircraft in history. We recently caught up with a Baltimore-based commercial real estate brokerage company that bought that landmark airplane for its business.
Well, most think you need a turbine engine for business transportation. The Seagull Group, with 3 company officers as pilots of one sort or another, is finding that the new G36 Bonanza is fitting the regional travel needs for them and their clients just fine.
A couple days ago, we had a group out of Texas with us, and we were able to see some sites and have meetings with some of the developers and landlords for the centers that they're looking to open a restaurant in, and we were able to kind of do a round robin with them, a trip that the CEO of the company, as we're coming back that night, said, well, this would have been a 3-day trip for us, and we were able to cover everything in one day, thanks to the airplane. And so it's a time machine.
While the Bonanza once led in speed among high-performance singles, today that belongs to younger composite 4-place singles. Nonetheless, the all-aluminum 6-seat G36 is in the running and wins in comfort.
We chose a Bonanza because of the cabin and the number of seats. We also chose the airplane because of the G1000 suite that it has. It was the type of airplane that we felt comfortable operating and putting clients and employees in it.
Beechcraft has restyled the cabin over the last few years and continues to improve the capabilities of the G1000 cockpit and that highly capable GFC 700 autopilot, giving the Bonanza many of the features you'd expect only in a much larger airplane, including an automatic environmental control system. Set it and forget it. With a cruise speed as high as 176 knots, the miles click by quickly. At that speed, the fuel goes fast too, though, at about 18 gallons an hour. Fly at Lena Peak, though, and the speed comes down to 162 or so, but fuel burn falls to just about 12 gallons an hour, and endurance stretches to some 5.5 hours. The Bonanza's legendary lineage gave the young Baltimore company a lot of comfort. The decision to buy new was helped by the current accelerated bonus depreciation program and a generous warranty. For Santana, a former charter pilot, his new role as chief pilot has given him a front seat in watching Andy Seagull, the founder of the company, and his father Mark, chairman, develop their skills as pilots. Mark, a sport pilot, Andy, a student pilot.
It's one of the more rewarding aspects of our use of general aviation for our company has been opening the world of private flight for Andy, one of the principals, and being able to bring somebody along as they start exploring and getting to know, and being there for his first solo flight, and just seeing him evolve into the aviator that we're hopefully going to make out of him, it has been a very neat experience, and one that I think every pilot that is passionate about this should be able to do, to be able to give back to somebody.
While he's flown bigger airplanes, the Bonanza bug has bitten Santana.
It's a joy to fly. It's a pilot's airplane. It is a heavy, robust airframe that handles turbulence, that handles weather that you encounter on the type of flying that we do, and the new features of the airplane. It basically is like your own little airliner.
And you could own your own G36 for a cool $670,000. And you can read more about the G36 in the September issue of AOPA Pilot magazine. And while we're on the subject of numbers, final numbers are in from Oshkosh. EA says more than 500,000 people came through the gates at AirVenture last week. More than 10,000 aircraft flew into the region, and there were a record number of exhibitors, EA says. Not all of those exhibitors had wares directly related to aviation, though. Amongst the bedsheet sellers and pots and pan vendors, there were also folks ready to help you fix the aches and pains that come from hiking around the huge AirVenture grounds. AOPA Live's Paul Harrop set out to find the cure.
Here at AirVenture, everything's kind of spread out. You do a lot of walking. And I don't know about you, but I always wind up pretty sore in the feet and back after the first couple days. So we went looking for products that help take away that pain.
First stop is the Stress Stop.
We carry massages for the feet for diabetics and a few portable massages and so on, but we try to keep the pilots going.
Wayne and his team can fix you up with a variety of products to massage away the pain, but perhaps none as powerful as this exercise machine.
And they developed this vibration plate technology to rapidly build back muscle and bone density, and that's the principle behind it.
You can use this after the club and you can fist bump, all right?
Why not use it after the club?
A hanger away, we run into Gino. He's from Brooklyn and really loves his product.
So that's our product right there. It's hido.com. So it really helps. It's like a TENS unit, but I don't want to say it, but it really helps.
Really?
It really helps.
So
that's what it does.
What, people come by the booth and you hook them up for a few minutes, or they sell the...
Oh yeah.
So Gino gave me the hookup, literally.
It's amazing. All right, we're gonna put it on his shoulders. This pad's right here. So he's gonna get a nice massage. So believe it or not, some guys, like they even leave their girlfriends for this.
Not I, said the reporter. Still, the electrical charges were a unique sensation. But what if you're out of balance?
Comes out like this, and this is just a balance test. It's just so you can see something's actually going on. Okay, put one leg up.
Rob over at Bionic Family is selling jewelry made out of a mineral that claims it, quote, may help to counteract possible destructive vibrations or frequencies that come from radio waves, electrosmog, and electromagnetic radiation.
Everything electrical we're conducting with our body, and it's breaking the cells in the body down. Okay, so
it's all a bit over my head. Speaking of which, this sun is drying out my chrome dome, but Infinite Aloe claims to help.
And it penetrates the skin. What that means is that it doesn't wash off, wear off, or rub off. It won't clog your pores, it won't draw dirt to your face like a magnet, and on your feet, it'll take your feet from sandpaper to a baby's bottom in about 3 months.
What about the Uncle Fester?
Uncle Fester, I use it on my scalp because I used to get sunburn on my scalp and it would peel. No more. I don't flake anymore, and so yes, you can use it from head to toe, anywhere you have skin. As long as you have skin on your scalp, feel free to use it there too.
Hopefully that hasn't receded too. But after all this walking around, I still had pain in my feet. Then I ran into Frank with Walking Tall Foot Correctors. He sells an insole that feels like, well, walking on a golf ball.
It takes all the pressure off the foot instantly. It'll take 100% of the people out of foot pain instantly, and I prove it all day long.
I wanted to see firsthand, or foot.
It does feel like I'm walking on a golf ball, but my foot pain, really, it's gone. This product has taken it away.
What it's literally doing, sir, is it's supporting your structure, putting your foot back where it belongs.
it worked.
So I've been zapped and prodded and rubbed and massaged and creams put on me, but I think the best way to maybe relax is just sit in a swing, maybe have a beverage, definitely a nice cold beverage. Paul here, AOPA Live.
Hey, glad to see we kept you hard at work at AirVenture, Paul. Coming up, it's in theaters near you this weekend. We'll tell you what audiences think about the Disney Planes movie. And when lub-dub becomes lub-a-dub, Dr. Jonathan Sakier says you better do something quick. The Flywell report when we come back from Portsmouth International Airport at Pease. Welcome back. You're watching AOPA Live this week. AOPA recently announced a new sponsorship arrangement with Sporty's Pilot Shop. The well-known provider of pilot supplies and flight training materials has also been a longtime supporter of initiatives to improve general aviation. And this sponsorship continues in that tradition.
Our first sponsorship is going to be with the Flying Club initiative, which is very important to, AOPA's focus is making flying more affordable and getting more pilots in. So it's a big, we're very excited to get back in the program and be in the program large, and it's very important for us too to see this pilot population grow. And AOPA, we need a strong AOPA to make all that happen, so we're very proud to be partners.
Last year's safety numbers are out from the NTSB, and they show a drop in civil aviation accidents. For the third time in a row, no fatal accidents for the airlines. Not so good for general aviation. Both the number of accidents and fatal accidents went up, but the number of fatalities went down from 2011. And because the number of flying hours went up, the accident rate, and that's the number of accidents per 100,000 flight hours, went down. Well, it's finally here. Disney's Planes movie hit the theaters this week. Last week, those who went to AirVenture got a sneak peek at the movie, and our cameras caught their reactions after the nighttime show in the AirVenture campgrounds.
I thought it was really different, but they did a really good job of capturing the whole aviation thing. It was really cool, and I really liked it.
Oh my God, I loved it. I've been waiting for this since I heard it was here. I loved it. I've been waiting for it since before it was even thought of.
It was really great.
It's just a great underdog story, I think.
It's a great film, and if it encourages kids to want to take up aviation and get involved in this great hobby of ours, that's great for the future of aviation in America.
A lot of people have high hopes that it's going to be the next Top Gun.
That's exactly what I was saying to somebody earlier today, and it's different than Top Gun. It's going to appeal to a different element, but you know what, if we start them young in a way that when I was a kid, you got to go into the cockpit, you got to experience aviation that unfortunately can't be done in America most of the time today, and this may help.
You can find out more about planes in the August issue of AOPA Pilot magazine or on AOPAlive.org. Just search for Disney's Planes. By the way, the AOPA-J crop dusting scenario was by far the most popular one at the AOPA tent at AirVenture. Kids kept coming up saying, "I want to fly Dusty." You can download the crop dusting scenario along with other new scenarios from AOPA, EAA, and Flying, for example. You can load them to your AOPA-J simulator by Redbird. Find out more at the AOPA store. Just click on the Product and Services tab on AOPA.org. And finally, when the old ticker misses a beat or two, time to visit the doc. Our own doc says that heart arrhythmia isn't fatal, nor does it always stop you from flying. Here's more from Dr. Jonathan Sakier.
Lub-dub, lub-dub. Those are the noises the heart makes as it pumps blood around the body. As blood returns to cardiac central from legs, arms, and every organ, firstly the heart sends it to the lungs to dump carbon dioxide and pick up fresh oxygen. Newly refreshed, the blood returns to the heart to be sent to all points north, south, east, and west. Clearly, this requires the kind of coordination to bring flights in and out of a major Class B airport. One controller speaking to all the planes, ensuring each is where it should be, when it should be. Now imagine an airport where two different controllers were giving conflicting guidance. The outcome would not be good. There's a parallel here with what could happen in the heart if beat coordination goes haywire. Normally, the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of heart muscle is guided by one controller, the sinoatrial node, which sends electrical signals down the bundles of hiss, phone lines, if you will, in the heart, making sure waves of contraction follow an organized pattern. If an area of heart is damaged by a heart attack, exposed to certain stimuli like caffeine or some other problem, this area can start emitting other electrical signals causing disorganized beating. Now, most people at some time or another, maybe after one or two many cups of joe, might experience a missed beat. But if you have a sense that your heartbeat's out of whack, sometimes nothing more concrete than just not feeling right, or feeling skip beats, or you feel breathless climbing stairs or while lying flat, make sure you get thee to a doctor and get checked out. Now, here's the good news. The most common form of disordered heart rhythm, atrial fibrillation, or AF, is eminently treatable, and once sorted, flying may well be in your future. AF is where the rhythm of the upper chamber of the heart is so goofy that it trembles or fibrillates and does not put out the right volume of blood. This can be dangerous, as blood stagnating in the chamber can clot and get sent out into the circulation, causing strokes or other damage, hence the need to get sorted. Most cases can be treated with medication, and if that becomes too much of an inconvenience or doesn't work, an outpatient procedure can be performed to knock out the naughty area of the heart and stop it from producing errant electrical signals. So don't march to the beat of a different drummer. Sign up for and use Pilot Protection Services to ensure you are doing the lub-dub dance.
Thanks, Jonathan. Remember, you can see Dr. Sakier's Flywell reports every other week here on AOPA Live this week. And that's it from Portsmouth International Airport at peace. This is a joint military-civilian airport with an 11,000-foot runway and great general aviation services. You should drop in sometime. And we hope you'll drop in next Thursday for AOPA Live this week. I'm Tom Haynes. We'll see you back in Frederick.